And welcome to the news. It's Wednesday night, and as usual, we'll be in different parts of Nigeria to bring you details of events with local and global significance. The rains continue with intensity, and some Nigerians may find it harder than others to swim against the tide. We'll also distill expert views on current realities in different sectors of the economy. Tonight, President Tinubu and other leaders agreed to strengthen cooperation for effective fight against terrorism at the Akaba process meeting in Rome. In politics, all eyes on Anambra governorship election as INEC meets media executives on key issues in the poll.
I, Governor Doye Diri, do hereby my membership of the People's Democratic Party.
Another governor jumps ship from the PDP. Bayelsa's Doye Diri defects with top political figures in Bayelsa. Victor leads Super Eagles.
He's on a hat-trick, and the Super Eagles are flying in Uyo.
Victor leads Super Eagles to victory, but they have 4 more hurdles to scale before FIFA can stamp Nigeria's visa to North America. Bade Deleye is here for that discussion and other sports stories, while Benny Adams is beaming after saying Nigeria's inflation numbers reduce in September. It's a loaded package, but don't take my word for it. After all, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. I'm Yan Ray John. This is News Extra. Welcome. Let's settle tonight as countries of the world at the Akaba process meeting have agreed to strengthen cooperation for better effectiveness in the fight against terrorism in parts of the world. This was at the meeting of heads of states and governments just concluded in Rome. State House correspondent Musbal Dan Wahab feeds us.
President Bola Tinubu set out for the Akaba process meeting of heads of state and governments, an initiative of King Abdullah II of Jordan on country. This year, a crucial matter concerning West Africa for leaders of the world to dissect or perhaps to lend support, and the attention of Nigeria, constituting about 1/3 of the sub-region, was high at a high-level meeting. The rising territory of terrorism in West Africa, including how terrorist groups are using the internet and social media to spread their message and recruit members concerned here. The closed meeting also discussed how to stop the flow of money and weapons to the groups.
The major takeaway is the fact that there is a multinational cooperation in fighting against terrorism. All nations believe that if one country is sick because of terrorism, in no time it will affect the other country. So the countries around the world believe that together we have to work and fight terrorism. So it's a very good, robust meeting that discuss especially the terrorism in West Africa, and the countries resolve really to work together and provide both policy and solutions for multinational terrorism fight. And I believe it is very, very good for our country being the leader in West Africa and Sahel.
The Nigerian Defense Minister, Mohammed Badaru Abubakar, also assessed the effectiveness of the meeting in the last 10 years of the initiative.
This meeting really cut down bureaucracy and leaders meet freely and openly and have very frank and open discussions on ways and means to fight terrorism in the world. And the focus now is West Africa, and I believe Nigeria stands to gain a lot from the cooperations that this meeting brings about.
On the sidelines of a high-level meeting, President Bola Tinubu also met separately with the Prime Minister of Italy, Giorgia Meloni, and King Abdullah II of Jordan on bilateral matters. In Rome, Musbah Nanwahab, NTA News.
And back home, the Nigerian Senate is making a push to tackle high rate of sickle cell disorder in the country as it seeks the establishment of sickle cell disorder research and therapy centers in the 6 geopolitical zones. The aim of the proposed legislation, sponsored by Senator Sunday Katong, is to improve data collection and assistance for patients. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports on this and other considerations at Wednesday's plenary.
Nigeria is identified as the epicenter of sickle cell disorder, as half of the annual 300,000 newborns with sickle cell are in Nigeria.
Provide facilities for diagnosis, curative, rehabilitative services for sickle cell disorder.
People become sickle cell patients because of maybe ignorance of their parents.
Avoidance is also supposed to be part of the reason. But I say no. You cannot legislate on love.
There should be mass sensitization and information given out by the relevant authorities to Nigerians.
Setting up centers that will cater for the cure of the disease is something that is very germane.
We'll try to find succor for those who are suffering for this unfortunate ailment.
The bill passed second reading and referred to Senate. Senate also passed at second reading bill to regulate factoring services sponsored by Senator Asukwo Ekeyon.
It provides for the licensing and supervision of finance companies engaged in factoring, ensures that costs and fees are disclosed in plain language, and makes invoice transfers legally enforceable to avoid disputes.
If we do not regulate how invoices are dumped by different organizations, then it means whether we factorize, the value for which we want to achieve will be misdirected.
Senate has urged the federal government to fast-track completion of Aingba-Dekina-Shintaku Road in Kogi East in view of its importance to livelihood of communities, as canvassed by Senator Issa Jibrin.
In the 1980s, when the Aingba-Dekina-Shintaku Road was motorable, commuters used to spend an average of 40 minutes on the road, but now spends over 4 hours due to the deplorable condition of the road.
In another resolution, Senate is set to investigate safety issues at airports across Nigeria, sequel to a motion from Senator Buhari Abdul Fatai.
Aviation safety is vital to national security, economic growth, international reputation, as Nigeria aspires to remain the hub of air transport in Africa.
Wednesday's plenary featured the confirmation of appointees for the Nigerian Law Reform Commission and Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Agency. The lawmakers paid tribute at plenary to late Senator Mohammed Mana and late Solomon Arase as they observed a minute's silence in their honor. Senate has set Thursday, October 16th for the screening of Professor Joash Amopiton for confirmation as the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Still in the National Assembly, but looking at the Green Chamber now, the House of Representatives has resolved to get to the bottom of the abandoned modular refinery project in Brass, Bayelsa State, after a whopping $35 million was reportedly invested in it. Lawmakers insist that public funds deployed for the project, which is under the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, must be accounted for. National Assembly correspondent Mitari Ikme brings us details.
Raised by Representative Billy Osawaru revealed the circumstances surrounding the moribund state of the modular refinery project in Bayelsa State.
Sometime in 2020, the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, otherwise known as NCDMB, invested the sum of $35 million in Atlantic International Refinery and Petrochemical Limited, a modular refinery to be located in Brass. Despite this huge investment, which is more than 50 billion naira today, and enough to fund fundamental components of the national budget, the proposed modular refinery was never set up.
It appears today that we're a nation that will not only eat our profit, but will also eat her investment.
The House mandated its committees on petroleum resources, midstream and downstream to investigate what went wrong with the proposed modular refinery project. Meanwhile, the House is set to probe alleged local content violations by oil and gas companies in Imo State to the detriment of host communities.
Failure to establish functional operational offices within their areas of operation in Imo State, as mandated by Section 3J of the Act 2010, thereby denying the state by valuable economic activity and employment. To urge the oil and gas companies operating in Imo State to urgently comply with provisions of the oil and gas industry.
At a public hearing, lawmakers and aviation experts endorsed a proposed legislation seeking to establish the African Aviation and Aerospace University in Abuja.
We must ensure that the institution is not only a center of excellence, but also a model of integrity.
This momentous occasion underscores the federal government's commitment to developing our aviation sector,
support Nigeria's vision to become Africa's leading aviation training and innovation hub.
They are optimistic that the proposed aviation university will address shortage of manpower in the sector. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
Away from the National Assembly now, more current news as Nigeria's inflation is slowing down, with the latest numbers from the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, revealing a major win in the battle against rising prices, offering a strong signal of economic relief and stabilization. September inflation slowed to 18.02%, a massive 2.10 decline month over month from the 20.12% recorded in August 2025. On an annual basis, the change is even more visible as the current 18.02% is a 14.68% lower than the 32.70% recorded in September 2024. This significant moderation points to successful cooling of price pressures across the economy. The most cheering news comes from the food basket, where after months of increased cost, food inflation has declined by 1.57% in September 2025, down from a positive 1.65% in August. While the national average is down, the fight isn't over everywhere, as residents in Adamawa, Katsina and Nasarawa experienced the fastest rise in consumer prices, while Anambra, Niger and Bauchi witnessed the slowest price growth, benefiting the most from the overall moderation. Experts say the latest inflation data signals a tangible multi-sector slowdown in price growth, and the disinflation trend is robust, led by a much-needed deceleration in food prices, which should boost consumer sentiment and lay a better foundation for economic stability and future business planning. And to talk more about the latest inflation figures, we have joining us now for a discussion, Professor of Capital Market, Nasarawa State University, Professor Uche Uwaleke. Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
All right. Inflation has continued to slow, recording 18.02% from 20.12% in August. This really mean for the economy?
Of course, it is cheering news that for 6 consecutive months now, we have witnessed drop in inflation rates, disinflation, as it were. And that's, of course, coming on the back of the harvest season in particular. This one is, you know, the result is something that the common man can relate to in the sense that the major driver, was food, food inflation. Just as you read out there, prices of food items, actually dropped. Talking about beans, potatoes, tomatoes, and the rest of them. So the common man can actually relate to the fact that prices of these food items, dropped. And that's also why, if you check that report, it talked about deflation. As a matter of fact, deflation is where you have negative inflation rates. So on a month-on-month basis, okay, prices of these food items actually dropped. But what you also saw on a year-on-year basis is a slow rise, in the prices. Compared to this time last year, September last year, for example, prices rose by, food prices rose by, on the average, 18%. But again, if you disaggregate that, on month, the fact remains that for certain items, on the average, their prices actually dropped. That's why you saw those negative, numbers. And again, it's also important to observe that the stability we recorded in the exchange rate, or the naira appreciation, if you like, we witnessed in September, had a positive impact on the core inflation element, which now stands at below 20%. So I think it's remarkable, and I think it's something that needs to be sustained.
All right, many thanks, Prof. We keep hearing these numbers every time. How does it translate to affordable credits, purchasing power, and improved standard of living?
Yes, I've said it. This one in particular is, something at least you can relate. You can relate with. If you go to the market today to buy potatoes, for example, you end up buying it at a lower price. So we need to continue to push for lower, headline inflation, particularly the food component that affects the common man. The central bank's target of 9%, is still, if you look at where we are today, we are still far off. So inflation remains high, inflation rate remains elevated. If you check all around us, when I mean all around, in Africa, for example, Nigeria's inflation remains one of the highest, even at 18.02%. Ghana is now having single-digit inflation. South Africa and the rest of them have single-digit inflation. As long as your inflation rate is high, your exchange rate will also be high. And that's also why you notice that, yes, we have witnessed stability in the exchange rate, but it has remained really sticky, downwards. And that's also because of inflation. If we're able to subdue inflation, significantly, particularly to single-digit level, you can bet that the naira will appreciate. You can bet that exchange rate will, will drop, and then the common man will begin to feel the impact of some of these positive macro numbers, that we're beginning to have.
All right, many thanks, Prof. Very interesting, I must say. I'm excited about what you have said, and of course, Nigerians hope that the figures will continue to decrease. Looks like my colleague Benny would have a question for you before he takes up the business news. Benny.
Yes, Prof. At this time, I want to know, what are those indicators to grow with to ensure sustainability at this point? Yet you mentioned if inflation is slowing down, we expect the cost of credit to also reduce. Yes, the central bank in their last monetary meeting reduced by 50 basis points. What should we be expecting going forward?
Yes, of course, if we have this experience by October, I am pretty sure the central bank will find more reason to further reduce the monetary policy rate. But talking about sustainability, the structural factors, are still there. Transport challenges, the issues of insecurity, and I'm happy that with respect to insecurity, something would appear to be, the government would appear to be addressing that. The issue of forest guards, I'm sure will go a long way to, handle that. And I'm also happy to note that currently the president is in Rome, involved in a high-level discussion on the fight against, terrorism, particularly with respect to West Africa. So I think going forward, all of this will, rub off positively on the inflation challenge that we have in this country.
All right, many thanks, Prof. It's indeed great speaking with you this evening on News Extra. I must say, just as the figures are dropping as far as inflation is concerned, you have also dropped the suit to take up the Babariga. Nice to see.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, so we'll continue with more business news, and Benny has that.
Thank you, Henry, and thank you, Prof. And just Evident to the inflation numbers just released and the discussion we just had with Prof, it is a significant development in staple food market which has sparked increase in demand and excitement from both traders and consumers in Yenagoa. It is the price of rice. Correspondent Gift Ogbe gives us details from the Swali ultra-modern market in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State.
Rice, a staple food in Nigeria, widely consumed across country by most households, as of recent times experienced drop in price.
The price of rice this year now come down well. If you look now, last year they buy rice, all this type where they sell 50, 45, 60,000, 55,000. But now God don't help, the thing don't come down to 50,000. Even they still expect the thing will come down past like that.
This time now, this cost now 6,000 you can buy, 5,000 you can buy now. Rice is going down, food have go down. This is why I'm saying that I have joy now, because some people don't have the money to buy. Now they have money to buy now.
Like last year, they say cost of rice. Some people they say 8,000 something. But this year now, you go see rice of costa, some rice 5,500, some 6,000. Better rice, so we send no day.
But I think it's government effort. I think they are doing their best to try and make sure that the price of food crash, because everyone wants to eat, and you know, by the time the food is available, at least the masses or the citizens won't be angry with the government. So.
However, while the price relief is celebrated, traders are raising concern on the issue of multi-taxation. They urge that despite the federal government's support in agriculture, excessive levies and overlapping taxes imposed by local and state authorities are threatening the long-term stability of food prices.
And the challenge is, you know how the roads concerning transports, you understand, sticker, all those things is there. So anything that you charge driver will calculate, put it for the transport. So the transport will now come back to that we have the goods, you understand. So you say we calculate how the expensive be before you know how you chase it. If not because of that challenges now, the price will reduce more than like this.
You may say oppose that. The stability of
Well, now looking at the market, Nigerian equities market, midweek trading rejected the bears and brought in the bulls. This is as the all-share index made a modest gain of 0.02%, with investors smiling home with 19.84 billion naira gain. Market capitalization also rising to 93.78 trillion naira. For the South African GSE Top 40, it was a rebound from previous days' losses to record a 0.75%, while the Tunisia Tune Index is still in red with 0.03%, still open window to cash in on the BS in Tunisia. That is it on business at this time. News Extra continues, but it's time to take a break.
Abuad hereby announces NAFDAC approvals for 4 Abuad products. Abuad Herbal Virucidin Liquid, Immune Booster and Antioxidant. Abuad Health Animation Capsule, Herbal Remedy and Antioxidant. Abmal Capsule to manage feverish conditions, and Ab Roasted Cashew Nuts, thanks to Abuad scientists and the industrial park for the success of the 3 medications and a food product, all with NAFDAC approvals. For inquiries on distribution, please call 080-395-24453, 080-6510-9823, and 091-2230-7113. Email abfarmer.parenteral@gmail.com or industrialpark@abwad.edu.ng.
Abwad, a vision in action.
Get ready for history in the making. The Honorable Chief Commissioner, Public Complaints Commission, Honorable Bashir Abubakar, MFR.
On the 21st of October 2025, we'll host the Global Ombudsman Summit, marking the 50th anniversary of the Public Complaints Commission.
With the theme, Effective Ombudsman's Institution, Catalyst for Good Governance. This event will bring together leaders, policymakers, and ombudsman's institutions from around the world.
Join us at the Ladi Kwali Conference Center, Abuja, Continental Continental Hotel Abuja as we celebrate 5 decades of fairness, justice and accountability.
The summit begins at 10 a.m.
Special guest of honor, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. Guest of honor, the Senate President, His Excellency Senator Godswill Akpabio, Speaker House of Representatives, Honorable Abbas Tajuddin. The 2025 Global Ombudsman Summit, celebrating 50 years of service, sustaining a lifetime of justice.
In the beating heart of Owerri, business never sleeps. From sunrise to sundown, the wheels keep turning. And behind the scenes, vision meets action. Governor Hope Uzodimma's leadership has turned manifestos into reality, transformations that feels like a miracle. But progress needs peace, and in Imo, it's not left to chance. From land to sky to river deep, Guardians are watching, protecting dreams and opportunity. At Orashi's quiet shore, hydropower is rising, set to energize a growing economy. The change is visible. New roads emerge, industry hums, communities come alive. At the center, a digital revolution. 500,000 young minds trained each year to build the future. As Orashi rises, so does Imo and the hopes of a hard-working people. A new Imo is on the rise.
The Nigerian Army invites applications from eligible Nigerians, including civilians and serving military personnel, for commission into the Nigerian Army as Short Service Combatant Commission SSCC officers. Applicants must be Nigerian, male or female, between the ages of 23 and 27 by 9th of January 2026. Applicants must be physically, mentally and medically fit according to Nigerian Army standards and in the combat arms or combat support arms of the Nigerian Army after the successful training and commission. Note, only tertiary credentials obtained from 2017 till date will be considered. For free applications and more information, visit Nigerian Army Recruitment Portal at recruitment.army.mil.ng. Sign up and upload your passport photograph, education, birth certificates or declaration of age, BVN or national identification number, name and certificates of state of origin, among others. Follow the prompt and complete the free online application. Then print out an online generated photo slip or card. All applications must be completed and submitted between Thursday 9th October and Wednesday 12th November 2025. Announcer, Military Secretary, Army.
And the National Productivity Order of Merit Award goes to...
The only tomato paste manufacturer to win the National Productivity Order of Merit Award by the Federal Government of Nigeria, endorsed by the Association of Private Medical Practitioners of Nigeria.
Wow! Awesome! There's always more with Mr. Chef in the Mr. Chef Extra Jara promo. Buy the 100 cubes pack, get 10 free cubes. Buy the 50 cubes pack, get 5 free cubes. Available in beef, chicken, mixed spices, and all-purpose variants.
What music means to me? Without it, I'm incomplete.
Many thanks for staying with us. The Progressive Governors Forum is holding its quarterly strategy meeting with information commissioners from APC-governed states, hosted in Maiduguri, Borno State Capital, to consolidate shared values and push the boundaries of the Progressive Congress to greater heights, with a firm belief that through strong collaboration, there is indeed light at the end of the tunnel. Umar Dimbarima reports.
Stakeholders in attendance united in the mission to achieve the forum's strategic objectives. Minister Mohammed Idris commended the leadership of the ruling party from top to bottom, highlighting the exemplary governance in Borno State despite the challenges of insurgency, and emphasized the need for strong grassroots collaboration to ensure continued national progress, and confidently assured that Nigeria's victory under the ruling party is inevitable.
We must refuse to amplify the terminology of our detractors. Instead, our messaging must be proactive, grounded in verifiable facts, and focused on the reality of our ongoing efforts.
We salute Your Excellency's sterling performance and the warmth with which you have received this gathering of
progressive. Our journey marked by the application of communities, the construction of schools and health facilities, and the revitalization of our agrarian economy.
An award for leadership excellence was presented to Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, recognizing him as the most outstanding governor for making the APC proud both nationally and internationally. In Maiduguri, Umar Jimbarima, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, reassures citizens that no part of the country will be left out in the transformative drive of the Renewed Hope administration under President Bola Tinubu in the remaining part of his first-term mandate. This was when he inspected ongoing and completed federal government projects in Maiduguri, the capital of Borno State. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
Once upon a time, when Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, and environs have been in darkness due to the activities of Boko Haram for years, the political will of the APC-led government made that a history with the installation of 15 megawatts Maiduguri emergency power plant and the solar power plant that has been generating uninterrupted power to the University of Maiduguri and the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital.
In the past, they used to pay about 200 million. Now, every month. Now they pay only about 30 million naira to the electricity suppliers with the provision of this. So we thank the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who has made this happen. It's not just about saving money. It is also about the fact that the university now is fully powered, both the university and the teaching hospital. So this will aid the research. It will also facilitate treatment of patients who are in the hospital. And the Vice Chancellor is saying that they are guarding this very, very jealously because this is an unprecedented kind of facility provided by government.
Indeed, you can call it sea of panels, 24,000 panels of solar power here in Maiduguri. With these, socio-economic activities are steady within and around Maiduguri. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
And still on activities of the Information Minister, the federal government has again reaffirmed its commitment to partner with the state governments to boost manpower at the grassroots through the provision of quality education. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, again made this assurance during an inspection of modern schools built by the Governor Babagana Umar Zulum's administration in Borno State. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara again has more details.
With 104 of these completed and 35 under construction across Borno State, this is an aggressive war against illiteracy in northern part of Nigeria, particularly in Borno State.
This is only possible because there is focus, there is determination, but above all, there is also the support of the federal government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The collaboration that the President is doing with the subnationals is helping to drive development across this country. And I think we need to recognize that, we need to salute that, we need to acknowledge this kind of collaboration for the betterment of our people, not just for Borno State, but all over the country.
The minister inspected the learning facilities and described the initiatives as a game changer.
This is a good investment in the nation, a good investment in the future of our children. And we urge and we know that other state governments are implementing this.
The minister and his entourage, including members of the federal government communication team and heads of agencies under the Ministry of Information and National Orientation, also visited other federal government projects across Maiduguri. In Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
Turn our attention to electoral matters now as the acting chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Mrs. May Agbamuche Umbu, met with chairmen and secretaries of registered political parties, re-emphasizing the Commission's desire to continue to improve on the nation's electoral integrity. The meeting was held at the INEC headquarters in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf was there.
At the opening of the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Agbamuche Umbu, announced a number of elections and electoral activities. The by-election, the duration on 16 August 2020, the Anambra State governorship election on 8 November 2020. Area Council CT on 24th February 2020. The Ekiti governorship election on 2026 and the Osun State government on 8 August 2026. INEC sought the cooperation of the media of the electoral process in Nigeria.
And as of this morning, we have received 3 media organizations for free personnel. I wish for media that the portal remains open until 2025. Our ensure that citizens are well informed, that political actors are also held accountable, and that the process is reported with accuracy, fairness, and responsibility. We acknowledge in continuous local administrations, inclusivity, and transparency.
Turning to other electoral activities, and is impressed by the response of the CR exercise at national chairman is testament that Nigerians believe in the nation's democracy and the effort to commission all Nigerians, even the right to determine who leads them. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
The acting chairman of INEC actually met with media executives, as you saw in that report. Still talking electoral matters. In an effort to give voice to the voiceless and ensure inclusive governance, key players in the forthcoming Anambra governorship election met in Awka to assess the level of preparedness with a focus on normalizing the role of people living with disabilities on civic life. Onome Okadigbo reports that the event organized by the TAF with support from the European Union featured representatives of INEC, security agencies and the media as critical stakeholders.
People living with disabilities play a significant role in nation building, yet they often face physical, psychological and societal barriers during elections. The meeting is designed to rebuild their confidence in the electoral process and also challenge stereotypes and bias against them.
The issue of electoral resources like magnifying glasses, the braille and all that. And we have tonight an assurance from the REC, who is here in person, that these provisions have been made available to them.
The INEC also have already trained us on how to vote, okay, and they have also collaborated with us to make sure that we even go to local government levels and also step down.
Representatives of INEC, security agencies and the media shared their experiences on the level of preparedness for the election.
Have made sure that the polling units, the ROA, the collation centers are all on a very smooth level ground so that they will not have issues.
The agencies, especially police, have had trainings in this regard to make sure that we extend our assistance.
With the proper implementation of recommendations from the town hall meeting, the November 8th process is expected to be an all-inclusive election from Awka, Onome Okadigbo, NTA News.
And staying with Anambra elections, as we come down to the governorship election on November 8th, we have some candidates joining us now. And of course, we have the candidates of Action Alliance, Japhet Nweke, the Boot Party, Chika Jerry, and African Action Congress, Chioma Ifemeludike. Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
All right. I'd like to begin with the candidates of Action Alliance, Japhet Nweke. If you can hear me, I'd like you to speak to us about what you think your party would do differently if you met victorious on November 8th.
Well, thank you for having me. My name is Jeff Nweke, also Jeff, Action Alliance candidate for this dispensation in Anambra State gubernatorial election. We are not going to do like our predecessors if we are elected in this very particular election. We are simply going to do what the
the mandate of the people, what we have been promising the people is inclusive governance. We're going to provide security, because as you can see, the insecurity in Anambra State is overwhelming, and I don't think anybody is hitting the nail on the head when it comes to insecurity. And that is what my party is going to be facing. We are going to do it by providing massive unemployment, because at the helm of the whole thing is these things are being stemmed up by the rate of unemployment in our state. So I believe that if we, as a government, when we assume power, provide employment through agriculture, as we have said, and making sure that the economy goes through agriculture.
All right, many thanks. Many thanks, Mr. Nweke. I'd like to get to Chika Jerry now of the Boot Party. Speak to us about if your party, talking about your boots, really, are solid enough to march you into Government House after the election on November 8th. And since your party is relatively new, what are the challenges you've faced so far?
Apart from vote buying, which is the problem of election in Anambra State and in Nigeria in general, I believe so much that people want to have a change. People are hungry for change, and any serious candidate that emerges from any party, Anambra people will embrace. So I want Anambra to vote Boot Party, and we are ready to put out Afuga and take care of the poor, because the poor have been marginalized in this state. That's why we are coming up. The Boot Party means because of our tomorrow. So we are going to take care of the poor and ensure that there's future for Anambra. Thank you.
All right, many thanks, Chika Jerry. We need to round up this conversation, but I'd like to get to Mr. Nweke quickly. I want you to speak to INEC. What would you want them to do on November 8th just to ensure that votes count? And of course, the most successful emerges victorious.
With the new INEC chairman that has just been appointed, I am hopeful that there will be no vote rigging, or whatever you call it, election rigging. There will be no. They will try as much as possible to, like my colleague said here, the issue of vote buying is one other thing that we have to abhor and we have to reject by all means. If the INEC ensures that there is fair play in this very particular election, I'm very hopeful that my party will emerge the winner and the mandate of the people will be served. Thank you.
All right, we wish you the very best there, Mr. Jerry. As we begin to round off, I would like to speak to Anambra people. Voter apathy is a big issue in our elections. I'm sure you want every, registered voter to come out on that day. So kindly speak to them. Mr. Jerry? All right, looks like we've lost connection with Chika Jerry. Many thanks, Japhet Nweke of the Action Alliance, and of course the Boot Party candidate Chika Jerry for joining us for this conversation. All right, if you're there, can you quickly respond to my question?
Hello, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, so I was talking about voter apathy has been a major issue in our elections. Yes, I can hear you, if you can hear me, Mr. Jerry.
What I'm saying is that Anambra people will vote for Boot Party in the next governorship election. And we assure Anambrarians that there will be a great change, because youth will start participating in government. We're going to employ a lot of youth, and 90% of my commissioners will be youth. And when we start engaging the youth in governance, this security will be a thing of the past. That's my assurance to Anambra State. To give free education, give them the textbooks and the science books, and ensure that teachers are well paid. Anambra can pay 120,000 minimum wage. I assure Anambrarians are going to take care of them and make sure that insecurity is the thing of the past. When youth take over of the governance of the state, there will be no insecurity again, because the youth will join hands to fight the insecurity in the state. And all Anambrarians will start coming back home. to vote Boot Party because of our tomorrow. So that Anambra State, as the life of the nation, we lead other states in getting the youth into governance. So we have so many young governors in Nigeria, and to ensure that there will be no more rioting, protests here and there, and all these intimidation and marginalization of the.
All right, thank you so much.
And may God bless our umbrellas.
All right, many thanks, Chika, Jerry Okeke of the Boot Party, as well as Japheth Nweke of Action Alliance. We wish you the very best as you go to the polls on November 8th.
Thank you
All right, let's now and head to Bayelsa. In what appears to be a major political shakeup in Bayelsa State, Governor Doye Diri, along with the Speaker, Deputy and Majority Lead members of the Bayelsa State House of Assembly, has announced his resignation from the People's Democratic Party, PDP. The governor made the announcement earlier today at Government House, Yenagoa, citing what he described as obvious developments within the party that no longer align with the ideals of fairness, unity and progress. Timonepre Ohia reports.
The speculation Bayelsa State Governor Doye Diri resignation from the People's Democratic Party has been laid to rest during the expanded State Executive Council meeting. Governor Diri explained that the decision to leave the PDP was reached after wide consultations with key stakeholders across the state. The resignation of the governor, Speaker, Deputy Speaker, majority members of the State House of Assembly is viewed as one of the most significant political developments in Bayelsa State since 2019.
I wish to formally notify you that in keeping with the extant protocols, I, Governor Doye Diri, do hereby resign my membership of the People's Democratic Party.
I think it's the right decision and good position they have taken. It is not just solid, but it inspires young generation of followers. So we're with you.
Meanwhile, the Deputy Governor, Lawrence Orujakpo, was not in attendance at the expanded executive meeting in Yenagoa. Timonepre Ohia, NTA News.
Governor Umar Namadi of Jigawa State has been setting new standards in the governance of the state with unprecedented achievements in every aspect of life in the northwest state. From Gwaram to Roni, Guri to Tara, indigenes of Jigawa are acknowledging the inclusive governance and developmental stride, renewed hope and rising confidence in governance.
The strength of Jigawa lies in its people, especially its youth. Across the state, skill acquisition centers are buzzing. But what does this mean for the state's future?
In any institution in Nigeria today, if you go to the ICT department, you must get a product of Jigawa State Information Technology Institute in Kazori. We try as much as possible to ensure the institution continue producing people that serve this country.
On the network service of the NTA, tomorrow, Thursday, 16th October 2025, for a full package of that documentary. This is News Extra. Shortly, please stay with us.
Wow! Awesome! There's always more with Mr. Chef. In the Mr. Chef Extra Jar promo, buy the 100 cubes pack, get 10 free cubes. Buy the 50 cubes pack, get 5 free cubes. Available in beef, chicken, mixed spices, and all-purpose variants.
No buy am. But why? No, sister, this
Big Bull bag of rice no get the new Big Bull holographic seal? Not true.
Introducing the Big Bull holographic seal tape, your favorite authentic Big Bull rice, 50 kg and 25 kg. Now with holographic seal tape. This is to ensure you get the premium product from Big Bull rice. Do not buy if the holographic seal tape is not on the bag or is broken. Big Bull rice, tasty rice, nourished you.
Progress no dey happen just like that. It dey come from support when you need am.
Mommy, I get the school fees. You too much.
Na money point o.
Money point, thank you.
Customer, na transfer abi? Confirm.
Bro, na transfer.
Na money point oga. Oh, na confirm.
Progress na peace of mind when you know say payment go land as Sure Banker. Progress na small wind wey dey carry person go far.
No worry, yourself go make am. Mo go buy ball.
Victor, even you dey use money point?
Of course na, they use money point.
Confirm.
Money point for your progress.
The Golden Penny 65th anniversary. Buy and win golden promotion. Up to worth of golden rewards to be won. Buy any pack of Golden Penny noodles, pasta, 500 grams or 1 kg Semavita. Check for code inside the pack and send the code via WhatsApp to win airtime instantly. Submit 10 Golden Penny pasta, 3 Semavita packs. Drop them at any redemption center to join the raffle. You stand a chance to win cash prizes, home appliances, kitchen makeovers, and even a brand new car. Promo starts from September 22nd, 2025. Offer valid while stock lasts. For more information, visit www.goldenpennypromo.com. Golden Penny, serving happiness, nourishing families.
Toilets have stains which bleach cannot clean effectively. But Harpic is thicker and sticks better, which gives 10x better cleaning versus bleach and kills germs.
Oh, wow.
You can now see that Harpic is better than
bleach. My mama no lie, yo. Food waste with na money kill and plus everything combined, oh. Everything combined, oh. Ogbonge just the arrive, oh. She tell me say na Devon King, so yeah, oh, she dey use fry, oh. Yeah. Now why the jollof it dey sweet like this? The chicken it dey crisp like this. Fry the plantain.
Introducing the new Devon King's soya vegetable oil, available in stores near you.
Imagine lovely meals you can cook with these ingredients. You spend heavily, but no guarantee of a tasty meal. Not making a right choice of seasoning cube can ruin your meal, money, and confidence. For a tasty meal, do not compromise. Choose Gold.
Use Terra Gold for the rich, consistent taste your loved ones crave for. Good for soups, stews, and jollof. Terra Gold. 1 cube, endless possibilities.
The energy from breakfast doesn't last my child the whole day. By halftime, they are low on energy. That's why break time is the right time to re-energize. It's that break time energy that helps keep your champ in the game.
Pack the nourishing energy of Milo with a great taste into the lunchbox every day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo! Good, tasty food is worth living for. Worried about your oil every time you enjoy your favorite meal? Introducing Smart Balance. Smart Balance rice bran oil is rich in gamma-oryzanol. Several studies suggest that gamma-oryzanol may contribute to the reduction of bad cholesterol. Golden Terra Smart Balance oil. Good food, no worries.
What music means to me, without it I'm incomplete.
Glad to have you back. Every day, hundreds enter Nigeria's correctional centers. But for most, it's not the start of a sentence. It's the start of waiting. In this report, Victor Azo looks beyond the custodial walls to uncover what keeps the cells full and how reformation still finds a way to grow.
Nigeria's correctional facilities lies a system stretched to its limits. Too many inmates, too few spaces, and too little time. Many of the facilities built decades ago now struggle with old structures and overstretched security, even as the population keeps rising. For the officers in charge, it is a daily test, how to keep order and still keep faith with the promise of reform.
Every year, thousands enter correctional centers, many straight from courtrooms like this. But for most of them, the trial hasn't even begun, and that's where the overcrowding begins.
The 2019 Correctional Service Act was meant to ease the burden by promoting non-custodial sentences, but the system hasn't fully caught up. Controller General of the Nigerian Correctional Service, Sylvester Nwakuche, says, no matter the numbers, the welfare of inmates remains their responsibility, from food and healthcare to rehabilitation.
When an inmate falls ill, it is our responsibility to take care of him or her. And we have medical facilities to do that. But when that situation goes beyond us, we take that person to government hospital.
Beyond welfare, overcrowding raises a deeper concern, the risk of jailbreaks. When inmates escape and blend back into society, it becomes a security and social challenge for everyone. Then there's the issue of feeding. Small in figures, big in impact. The daily food allowance was raised from 750 to 1,125 naira. But the increase remains on paper since August 2024.
Do you know that there are some people in these custodial facilities that what is keeping them there just about 10,000–20,000 naira? And they're in incarceration because they can't pay.
Civil society voices say the problem runs deeper. Slow trials, poor coordination, and a justice process that moves in circles. For them, every extra day behind bars without trial weakens the system's purpose and the human spirit within it.
70% has been like a constant with the rate of pretrial detainees we've had. Today we hear that, 25 people have been released by a particular court, and then that same court again would remand another 20.
Even within these walls, hope has not checked out completely. Some inmates are learning trades, others are studying, determined that when the gates finally open, they won't return the same way they came.
My case finished before my graduation, so coming out too, I was given opportunity to be going there until I studied and finished. Now I have my BSc in entrepreneurship and business management. This work I am doing here is there that I have learned it.
For those who have lived through it, justice begins with opportunity. But opportunity alone does not fix a crowded cell. And so justice must move faster. And every part of the system must pull its weight.
The Nigerian Correctional Service says reforms are ongoing, and the vision remains fewer inmates, stronger systems, and true rehabilitation. Until then, for many still waiting, freedom may not be a matter of innocence, but of time. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
Many thanks, Victor, for that beautiful package. Indeed, justice must move faster. Now, motorists in the Federal Capital Territory are facing increasing frustration due to heavy traffic congestion caused by articulated vehicles during peak hours on the busy Kubwa Expressway. The presence of these trucks at undesignated hours not only slows down traffic, but also poses a significant risk to road users. Hawa Gimba reports on the growing concern.
Heavy-duty vehicles are a common sight along the Nyanya-Kubwa Expressway, the busiest routes connecting satellite towns to the city center. During peak hours, the presence of these articulated trucks often leads to gridlock road obstruction and accidents. This stretch of highway has become notorious for traffic delays linked to articulated vehicles. Despite restrictions on their movement during work hours, many still operate freely, posing safety concerns for commuters. As the nation's capital continues to experience rapid growth, especially in road infrastructure development under the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, compliance, they say, remains the best way to protect lives and sustain the city's road network. Although the movement of articulated vehicles during peak hours remains in force, enforcement has continued to pose a major challenge as authorities say most drivers fail to comply with the directives. Some drivers argue that inadequate overloading points within the city and poor road networks in adjoining areas makes it difficult to fully adhere to the stipulated time frame. The FCT Directorate of Road Traffic Services maintain that continuous sensitization and strict enforcement are vital to curbing the menace.
Their timing is from 6 to 10. They are not supposed to move, but from 10, that is 11 o'clock, till 3 p.m., they can move on the road. Then once it is 3 p.m., they stop again. The penalties in our regulation is that once they violate that, they are supposed to face the mobile courts, and the mobile court give them appropriate penalty.
The administration is trying to come up with some of the facilities that could take care of some of these specialized vehicles, like the Kubo terminal is one of such facilities that such articulated vehicles are supposed to observe certain period of the day that cannot fly.
Residents hope for sustainable compliance that will not only ease congestion but also safeguard lives and property. Hawagimba, NTA News.
And that report again points to the general notion, or if you like belief, that the Nigerian law says trucks and tankers are not meant to ply the road during daytime, but at night. Now the question is, does this law really exist? Where does it apply? Well, in this special report, Oyeyemi Ajayi will tell us.
Over time, cries and condemnation about incessant road traffic crashes continue to resound in the air. Despite warnings, cautions, even policies put in place, the hydra-headed monster doesn't seem to be bowing out so soon. Fingers pointed at tankers and trailers of road traffic crashes in the country. According to the Federal Road Safety Corps statistics, tankers and trailers account for 30% of the road traffic crashes and 42% of deaths on Nigerian roads. In 2021, Lagos State government banned trucks and trailers from plying roads in the state during daytime, saying that trucks and trailers are now restricted to night operations on dedicated roads within the hours of 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. daily in order to avert rising massacre on roads during the daytime in parts of the state. Other states that followed suit are the Federal Capital Territory, Kwara, Niger, Oyo, Plateau, and Abia states. To enhance road safety and reduce traffic fatalities, the Nigerian Senate followed this move with a proposed legislation titled A Bill for an Act to amend the Federal Road Safety Commission Establishment Act 2027, restricting the daytime movement of heavy-duty vehicles and for related matters, and the bill, sponsored by Senator Ned Nwoko, APC Delta North, read for the first time in the Senate on February 11, 2025. The bill seeks to confine the movement of articulated lorries, tankers and trailers to the hours between 12 midnight and 6 a.m., except in emergencies.
Without any form of contradiction, FRSC has had reason to even give a kind of advocacy that people should avoid night journeys because of the implication when there are crises, whether there are crashes and there's need for immediate support to the victims. So I think I would rather say it depends on the edit put in place by each state And where such Corps has been collaborating with them to get it executed. But at the national level, we don't have such.
One thing the Federal Road Safety Corps is saying is the fact that there is no national policy enforcing the restriction or banning of heavy-duty trucks from moving during the day. And so there is a freedom of movement of vehicles on the roads. But one thing they are actually emphasizing is the fact that safety on the roads must always be extolled. Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
Well, thanks, Oyeyemi, for educating us. And looking at education now, the federal government has removed mathematics as a compulsory subject for students seeking admission into art-related courses in Nigerian universities. Applicants for programs such as fine arts, theatre arts, music and languages can now qualify without it, though English and relevant arts subjects remain mandatory, while it remains compulsory for science, technology and social science courses. A statement by the Federal Ministry of Education says the decision aims to expand access and support students whose strengths lie in arts, promoting inclusivity and creativity in education. The reform is expected to create up to 300,000 additional admission slots annually, reduce the number of out-of-school youths and strengthen technical JAMB expected to update admission guidelines while schools and counselors adjust subject advice to reflect the new policy. Reactions have continued to trail the federal government's decision, of course, to remove mathematics as a compulsory subject for students in the arts stream. While some welcomed the move as a bold step towards widening access to tertiary education, others urged government to ensure that standards are not compromised. Let's hear them. Ngozi Okafor is our guide.
Candidates seeking admissions into faculties of arts in Nigerian universities no longer need to pass mathematics in their senior school certificate examinations SSCE, according to a revised national guidelines for entry requirement into Nigerian tertiary institutions. This, a cross-section of people in Umuahia, described the policy as a progressive reform capable of reducing barriers that have long hindered many talented arts students from advancing studies. Commending President Tinubu's administration for what they termed pragmatism and flexibility in education policy, respondents say the policy would help brilliant students who are gifted in literature, languages, and the humanities to pursue their dreams without frustration.
There are people who have a phobia for mathematics. But this now, with this development, it will encourage them.
So I think this is a welcome development.
However, some cautioned that while the move is commendable, proper guideline and curriculum review should follow to ensure that students will acquire basic skills needed in everyday life.
I don't think it's a welcome development because in our individual lives, I think we need mathematics in terms of planning and other things we do.
Consensus is that the reform aligns with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's broader drive to expand access to tertiary education and make learning more inclusive, particularly diverse aptitudes. In Umuahia, Ngozi Okafor, NTA News.
And still on education, the House of Representatives Joint Committee on Certificate Racketeering has taken campaigns to public and private institutions of learning in Lagos State as another step to addressing the disturbing trend among Nigerian students. National Assembly correspondent Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports that the oversight exposed how admission is given to some part-time students bypassing set standard by JAMB.
Cases of alleged certificate racketeering among Nigerian students in conjunction with some university staff prompted this investigation by the House of Representatives. The Yaba College of Technology was the first port of call to look at the admission process and certificates being obtained by students.
Nigerian graduate from any university can excel in any part of the world. We are very, very proud of that. Therefore, we will not allow some few individuals, lazy elements with criminal minds, to spoil the good name of Nigeria.
The management of the institution demonstrated the need for improved technology to address the trend.
We even have those who will give fake admissions to students. But our system detects them, and before you can go anywhere, such students are sent out of the college.
The committee also visited the University of Lagos.
Types of certificate racketeering or frauds that you've had, if you could supply us with that information.
I think last year we got a message from Canada that there was a syndicate outside there that was producing University of Lagos certificates. So we took that to the DSS and we started the investigation. So we found that 2 people were compromised inside our system.
While at Caleb University, committee members explained that the oversight is not for witch hunt, but tackling a national disaster. The oversight visit continues with other higher institutions. From Lagos, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
Let's turn our attention to water news now, as the governing All Progressives Congress says the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund's assessment of Nigeria's economy performance index under President Bola Tinubu is the right step in the right direction. A statement by its National Publicity Secretary, Felix Morka, says the results of the steady economic progress, which is non-oil revenue driven, have manifested in poverty reduction, employment generation, and solving security challenges at various levels of the nation's life. The statement added that the economy is on a remarkable growth trajectory, with the second quarter of 2025 GDP growth rising to 4.23%, beyond the IMF initial projection of 3.4%. Morka says with its upgrading of Nigeria's growth forecast to 3.9% in 2025 and 4.2% in 2026, the World Bank's latest report further validates the trend, projecting Nigeria's growth acceleration from 4.2% in 2025 to 4.4% in 2027, driven by the rapid expansion of services, agriculture, and other non-oil sectors. Elsewhere, President Bola Tinubu congratulates Kano-born politician and presidential advisor, Senator Bashir Lado, as he marks his birthday on the 16th of October. Senator Lado, currently special advisor to the president on Senate matters, had represented Kano Central in the upper chamber of the National Assembly between 2011 and 2015. The president acknowledges Senator Lado's work fostering harmony between the executive arm and the Senate, ensuring that the president's vision and the nation's legislative priorities are advanced with diplomacy, wisdom, and respect. Time to take another break. Please don't go anywhere.
Mom's Pride seasoning cubes, now available in Kayamia flavor. A perfect blend of ingredients like garlic, ginger, onion, cloves, and many more. Mom's Pride Kayamia, Mom's Pride Dadawa, and Mom's Pride beef flavor. Mom's Pride. Share the pride.
Milo 3-in-1 Milky and Creamy is truly milky and contains calcium. So, no need to add milk for that rich, creamy cup, which helps to nourish your kids.
What food do you need?
is ready.
Cook to impress.
Wow! Awesome! There's always more with Mr. Chef. In the Mr. Chef Extra Jara promo, buy the 100 cubes pack, get 10 free cubes. Buy the 50 cubes pack, get 5 free cubes. Available in beef, chicken, mixed spices, and all-purpose variants.
The world needs moms. With a splash of Golden Terra oil, a mom can transform a frown into a smile. Change no thanks into yes please. Resolve family feuds without blowing a whistle. Providing tasty family meals is all that matters. Where there are moms, there is love. Golden Terra oil, pour pure love.
Big day ahead.
Delicious Ovaltine, smart choice for smart kids.
People, toilets have stains which bleach cannot clean effectively. But Harpic is thicker and sticks better, which gives 10x better cleaning versus bleach and kills germs.
Oh, wow.
You can now see that Harpic is better than bleach.
TerraCube, unwrap joy, unleash taste.
What makes a true leader in the game? Is it being the first to start? For over a decade, one name has always led in front. That name is Bet Naija. Bet Builder. On a bet boom, not just features, with unbeatable odds on over 300,000 live matches, but playing to win. Just another reason why Bet Naija is truly Nigeria's #1.
A new reform is redefining how expatriates live and work in Nigeria. The Immigration Service says it is about efficiency and national security, but not without a few questions from stakeholders. Victor Azu has this.
A new chapter dawns in Nigeria's immigration system, one aimed at tightening the expatriate quota process and streamlining visa issuance. The policy is designed to keep Nigeria safe while making operations smoother for genuine investors.
The expatriate quota reform redefines how we manage and monitor expatriate participation in Nigeria's workforce. By optimizing our systems, we are reducing accountability.
Clear rules and instructions
visibility government and migrants productively. Two e-visa investors platform NEFSA role as regulator. For the Nigeria Immigration Service, it is a balancing act, securing the nation, encouraging investment, and every stakeholder feels part of the process. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
Now, President Tinubu celebrates and congratulates Ahmed Wadada Aliyu, the senator representing Nasarawa West Senatorial District and Chairman, Senate Committee on Public Accounts, on the occasion of his birthday. President Tinubu notes that in just 2 years in the Senate, Senator Aliyu has distinguished himself in lawmaking and oversight. The president extols the virtues of humility, loyalty, philanthropy, transparency, accountability, fiscal discipline, which he exhibits, and wishes him the very best. Now time for another break. More news shortly. Please remain tuned.
This is Jigawa, a land of resilience, rich culture, and endless possibilities. In just 2 years, Governor Umar Namadi's vision is reshaping the state. From to clinics, from bustling markets to fertile farmlands. Education revived, healthcare strengthened, youth empowered, agriculture transformed. Real stories, real impact, real transformation. Join us on the network service of the NTA on Thursday, 16th of October 2025 by 10 p.m. as we tell the remarkable story of Jigawa's journey. 2 years of purposeful leadership and people-centered governance. Jigawa, our home, our pride, our future.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the worrisome increase in the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The FSRCC and NBC hereby advises the general public to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Make sure to verify the licensing status of such companies and schemes on this website. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call Let's work together to uphold the integrity of Nigeria's financial system. Announcer, FSRCC.
Let's join Badia Delaya now for sports news.
Many thanks, Yara. Let's begin with the Super Eagles, as Captain William Troost-Ekong has issued a confident message ahead of next month's crucial World Cup playoffs against Gabon, insisting they will be ready for any opponent. Troost-Ekong's remarks come shortly after Gabon striker Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang declared his intention to lead the Panthers to their first ever World Cup. With all qualified countries expected not to swap positions in the next FIFA rankings, Nigeria and Gabon are projected to clash in the first semi-final of the African playoffs in Morocco on Thursday, November 13, 2025. The eventual African winners will advance to the Intercontinental Playoffs in Mexico next March, where 6 teams will compete for the final 2 World Cup spots.
And yeah, we have a big work still to do in Morocco next month for the playoff, and then a game in March when we get there. We want to continue taking it game by game, but yeah, I think we should be very proud, everyone, and also all the contributions that you guys have made. And I also want to thank all the Nigerians who supported us, because to get to this point, it's not easy at all.
Meanwhile, the National Sports Commission has reaffirmed its commitment to ensuring Nigeria's qualification for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, pledging full support to the Super Eagles as they chase a ticket to the global showpiece. Following Nigeria's qualification for the African playoffs on Tuesday, the Commission assured football stakeholders and fans across the country that it remains focused on translating President Bola Tinubu's vision for the national team into reality. The NSA further confirmed that preparations are already in top gear ahead of next month's mini playoff tournament. And away from the World Cup stories now, let's let you know that the Nigeria Under-17 women's national team, the Flamingos, have rounded off their pre-World Cup friendlies with a hard-fought 3-2 victory over Paraguay in Casablanca. Coach Bankole Oluwokere's tutored side sealed their 12th warm-up games victory, extending their scoring tally to 50 goals. The Flamingos will open their FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup campaign against Canada on Sunday, the 19th of October. They face France 3 days later before wrapping up the group stage campaign against Samoa on the 25th of October. That's a bit on sports tonight. Let's now return to Nyeri.
Many thanks, Badi, for the update. President Bola Tinubu extends his condolences to the government and people of the Republic of Kenya over the passing of former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. President Tinubu extols Odinga as a towering figure in African politics whose lifelong commitment to democracy, justice and national unity left an indelible mark on Kenya and across Africa. The president says the former prime minister's courage in the face of adversity, his resilience in pursuing electoral reforms and his unwavering belief in the people's power will remain sources of inspiration for generations. Meanwhile, the Radio, Television and Theatre Arts Workers Union, RATAW, mourns the demise of a veteran broadcaster and a one-time Director General of the Nigerian Broadcasting Corporation, Dr. Christopher Kolade. In a statement, RATAW commiserates with the broadcast media, his immediate family and the country at large for the loss of a great leader and acknowledge the honor and pleasure he brought to the broadcast industry during his time of service. And that's our package and News Extra tonight. Many thanks for watching, and from the entire crew, do have a good night.